Hi, I'm Professor Thuggy, and this is my list of the top 10 presidential perverts, sex pests, and in some cases, straight up rapists. Number 10 is President Gerald Ford, not really considered a ladies' man, and to be fair, he was never accused of sexual harassment or assault, but he did receive an oral presentation from an East German spy when he was a congressman. In fact, it was the same East German spy who gave a similar oral presentation to number 9 on our list. Yep, Ellen Romesh, the East German spy, served her country by serving both Republican Gerald Ford when he was a congressman and Democrat John F. Kennedy when he was president. Now that's what I call bipartisanship. JFK was a known hound dog, and legend has it that he slept with upwards of 5 to 6 women a day while he was president. It helped that he was constantly hopped up on speed. But with all these different affairs, JFK was never accused of sexual assault or harassment. No, the advances that he made were usually welcomed, unlike his very sweaty opponent in 1960. Richard Milhouse Nixon, number 8 on our list for making many unwelcome sexual advances towards women who worked in the White House or visited the White House or were in the general area of Washington, D.C., apparently. In addition, he also had several affairs with consenting adult women, which, how? I just don't get it, but I guess he really earned that nickname, Tricky Dick. Number 7 on our list is George H.W. Bush, aka the good one. But when it comes to Bush, there are no good ones. Presidents, that is. George H.W. Bush was accused of groping a woman in 2014 as he was sitting right next to his wife, Barbara Bush. And he was sitting in his wheelchair because at the time he was old as shit. But apparently one of his 3 legs was still working. HW was also accused many other times of unwanted sexual advances. That's just kind of the norm for presidents, apparently. Well, the white ones, anyway. George H.W. Bush not only forced his hands and possibly other body parts onto women, he also forced this evil piece of shit onto the world. Number 6, George W. Bush. This motherfucker was accused of rape by Margie Schrodinger in the year 2000. In the year 2003, Margie was found with a bullet in her head. It was called a self-inflicted bullet wound. And that was the last anyone heard of that accusation. Oh, also, Laura Bush, George W.'s wife, killed a guy. The family that slays together. Number 5 is actor Ronald Reagan, who was accused of rape by an actress in the 1950s. And of course, nothing ever happened because it was the 1950s in America, and he's a white man. Side note, his wife, Nancy Reagan, also worked for the studios in Hollywood in the 50s, and she was known as the throat goat. Say no to dicks, Nance. Number 4 on the list is Bubba, William Jefferson Clinton. We all know about his infamous affair with White House intern Monica Lewinsky while he was president, which he denied under oath. But apparently, since he's been married to Hillary, he's had an affair with at least 4 other women. In addition, he has been accused of rape or sexual assault by 4 women. There's also his longtime friendship with pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. So that's weird. Speaking of friends of pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, who paid off porn star Stormy Daniels with campaign funds for their affair, which he had during his 3rd wife's pregnancy. Oh, he's also been accused of sexual misconduct by 26 women, including his ex-wife Ivana, who claims that he raped her. Most recently, he was held liable in court for sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll, and then he was fined for defaming her by denying that he sexually abused her, which he did, because he is a sex pest, and he is number 3 on the list. And now to satisfy all your whataboutism needs, because I know people are going to rush in to comment, what about Biden? What about Biden? Well, he gets the honorable mention. Current President Joseph Biden was accused of sexual abuse by Tara Reade, who claims he raped her in the 90s when he was a congressman. Now, the accusation never went anywhere. He was never held liable in court and never got to court. Never had to pay any fines, any of that. And right now, Tara Reade is looking to become a Russian citizen, so make of that what you will. But Uncle Joe does have a very long history of being really creepy and weird. Like how he's sniffing my ear right now. Stop it, Joe. Jesus. So, Joe, you get the honorable mention. Number 2 on the list is this number 1 stunner right here. Grover Cleveland. He had an illegitimate child, which everyone basically knew about. What they later found out was that he had violently raped the mother. But guess which was the scandal? It wasn't the rape. Early 20th century America. What a time to be alive. And that brings us to our number 1 presidential pervert, sex pest, and in this case, rapist. Thomas Jefferson. Now, a lot of people have tried to portray his relationship with his slave Sally Hemings as a romantic relationship. He cared for her. He loved her. The only problem is, and this should be fucking obvious, she was a slave. She was his property. She had no choice in the matter. He raped her whenever he wanted. She couldn't get away. She couldn't go anywhere. She couldn't really resist because we know what would happen. He impregnated her 6 times. He had 6 kids by her, and they all went directly into slavery. Not my idea of romance. So, Tommy, I used to love you. I really did. You were my favorite. And then I grew up and realized you're a rapist. And then I realized how many presidents are just the same. Gotta love America.